What is up, YouTube? I'm just gonna get straight into it. With all the chaos going on in the world right now, I felt like it was essential that I hop on here and just talk to you guys. We have grocery stores shutting down, we have people out of work, we have so many different things going on in our country and in other countries right now worldwide. This thing is crazy. All right, guys, so to start off this video, I don't want there to be any stress. This isn't a video to like make people panic or make people have anxiety, so just clear the room right now of any like negative energy that you have. This isn't a video that's going to be containing anything about like conspiracy theories or anything like that. It's strictly going to be facts about the corona, because I feel there's a lot of misconfusion out there and people are just reacting in panic. So I've done the research. I'm going to share a bunch of links down below if you guys want to look deeper into those. I'm also going to be sharing a bunch of links to, or maybe just a couple links to videos that I've watched that I've found to be very helpful. All right, so with that being said, coronavirus, COVID-19, what is it? So what is coronavirus? Coronavirus is a large family of viruses that can cause the common cold or other flu-like symptoms. And we've actually experienced coronavirus before with SARS and other ones that I'm going to link below again if you want to look deeper into those. The current one we're facing is COVID-19. So there's currently no vaccine for COVID-19. Some common symptoms of coronavirus are cough, fever, tiredness, and difficulty breathing in severe cases. That being coronavirus, I believe, attacks your respiratory system. What are some ways that we can protect ourselves from getting this virus? The first step I would say would be to know how it spreads. The best way to prevent illness is to not be exposed to the virus. Well, how can you do that? Because a lot of people think that it's airborne. It can be airborne. If somebody coughs into the mid-air, a bunch of particles are going to fly at however many miles per hour through the air everywhere, and they're going to live for so long. And then if it lands on something like cardboard or plastic, it can live up to like 3 days. That's crazy. So it's kind of freaked out. You don't want to touch anything. You don't want to go out. Like, how are we supposed to do that? How are we supposed to go grocery shopping? How are people supposed to work? If we all do our part in staying at home if you have any symptoms, not going out if you feel sick at all, or calling into work if you have to. I know it sucks, but like at the same time, we don't want to spread this thing. And that's why we're seeing a lot of people have to quarantine. There's also like an incubation period where you don't see any symptoms at all and you're still contagious. So you could like just have a cough and you're not even seeing any symptoms and give it to your grandma or something, and that's crazy to think about. You know, this virus is known to be transmitted person to person between people typically in the same room through respiratory droplets when somebody coughs or sneezes that can enter through your mouth, your nose, or even be inhaled into your lungs. That just means we have people that are coughing, not covering their mouths. We have people that after they cough, they're not washing their hands, they're touching other things that you're touching, or you shake hands with them and it gets transmitted that way because you're touching your face, or you go eat a fat burger and you didn't wash your hands. So I think it's important that we all play our part in you know, covering your mouth when you cough. And you know, a better practice is to actually have a little thing of tissues with you and some Germ-X. And when you cough into the tissue, immediately throw it in the trash and then use some Germ-X. Like, how hard is that to do? But obviously, I don't know if you can hear that. There's a huge helicopter going by right now. But obviously we don't have people doing that. We don't have people staying clean and doing what they need to do, so we're having to go in quarantine because this thing is spreading like wildfire. Just taking those precautions and not getting other people sick. You're gonna wanna wash your hands all the time when you're in a public place after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. Wash your hands before you eat. If you're out, you're at Walmart, you're touching the carts, I would disinfect it, put some Germ-X on your hands. Avoid touching your face before you wash your hands, which I think I may have done a few times in this video. Put distance between yourself and others. Don't be, you know, in somebody's close quarters where they can easily cough and you instantly inhale that or whatever. You don't want that to happen. Stay home if you're sick, except if you need to seek medical care. If you're gonna go seek medical care, wear a mask on the way there. Just because you're going to the doctor doesn't mean you shouldn't try not to get other people sick. These people are taking a risk by being there to help you, so we should take some precautions and help them. Wear a face mask. I know it's kind of weird, but if you're gonna go to a highly crowded room, I would recommend it. One of the things, how it spreads, I just said, is you breathe it in through your lungs. So why not wear a face mask? Clean and disinfect all surfaces that are frequently touched. Like, I just did a super deep clean in my house the other day. I wiped off everything, disinfected everything. Can never be too safe, but Then again, I'm clean like that year round. So automatically, unfortunately, there are people that are at higher risk. That's people like with heart disease, diabetes, lung disease, things like that. And adults or older adults and babies. Please keep your babies at home. If I had a baby, then the baby probably would not leave the home. That's a different story though. I don't have kids, so I'm speaking from a different perspective. So how can we prepare for things like this when they're happening and before they're happening, and how to take precautions for things like this? This is a good time to, obviously go and stock up on everything that you need, as everybody's clearly done. There's toilet paper nowhere. People aren't being considerate, again, because they're acting out of fear. Like, you didn't need 10 things of the toilet paper. You truly did not. And if you think that you did, maybe it was a better idea to have thought about things like this in advance. Like, oh, hey, if the world goes to crap, maybe I should have things to get me by for, I don't know, a 3-month. Like, give yourself a 3-month buffer or whatever feels right for you. Maybe you should have been buying, a few things extra of toilet paper when you go grocery shopping all year round. Those are things that most of us don't think about. I haven't thought about, but I think a lot of us are really starting to realize, like, these are things that we need to start thinking about. So I would say stock up on supplies, but be considerate of the other families who are out there that may be in need. And if you have 20 things of toilet paper and your neighbor doesn't, just go give them some freaking toilet paper. What about work? Like, I've been out of work for a week. I'm a server. I solely depend on tips to get money. I didn't have like a cushion of money to sit on when this happened. My advice to that is to focus on everything that you can control. You're at home. Maybe it's time to maybe you're a journalist and you've been wanting to journal and you just haven't had the time. Maybe you should go and do that. Maybe you need to work on your website. Maybe you need to advertise. I'm a hairdresser, so maybe you need to advertise your business, your hair. Maybe you have an album full of hair that you haven't posted. Maybe you have all these extra clothes sitting in your house that you could probably sell online. I don't know, whatever it is. Focus on what you can control, and let's find a way to stay positive and motivate each other to do that in this time where everybody seems to be having to be quarantined. I'm not upset that I'm not working. I'm looking at it as one big vacation. I'm staying home, I'm staying clean, and I'm just focusing on what I can, maximizing on what I can do right now, because what's the point of focusing on something you can't control? I can't solve this mystery of trying to find a vaccine for coronavirus. So what's the point of sitting here living in fear, making bad decisions, not being considerate of others, or panicking myself to death over nothing? I'm going to do what we know how to do, and that's stay clean. I'm going to take care of myself, which is stay positive. I'm going to keep my faith and know that God will keep me safe in this time of need. I'm going to keep things rolling and doing things, that I like to do at home and making these videos for you guys. All right, guys, next I want to talk about something I think a lot of people aren't talking about. They're talking like we haven't experienced anything like this in the history of our time. Maybe not in my lifetime. I'm 25, I'll be 26 this year. I haven't experienced any pandemic or anything of that nature. But let's just go in real quick and see how coronavirus stacks up against all the other flus or other pandemics that we've had in like our timeline of history. So right now, coronavirus has roughly about 304,000 cases, current cases, has about 1,300 deaths, and it has about 94,674 that have recovered. Let's just say these numbers, I know people out there say like, oh, these numbers are way behind, they haven't been updated. The site I'm on now, I'll link it below, says it gets updated every day. And even if those aren't accurate, let's just say that number doubled to 600,000 current cases, 24,000 deaths, and still, let's just say recovered stayed at 94,000. There's still other pandemics that we've went through that are kind of worse. Oh, guys, I forgot to mention, if you guys want to know more like about what the coronavirus is, like I said at the beginning of the video or anything like that, I'm going to link a video down below of this. She's a doctor and she goes into high detail of what the coronavirus is and what we're facing now. I don't think she does it in a way to cause you anxiety or anything like that. So I'll leave a link below for you guys. Make sure you check that out. Also, I'll leave a link below to one of my good friends, Taylor Woods. Her channel's awesome. Make sure you guys check that out. She also made a video about her life experience with coronavirus. So if you guys wanted to check that out, if you're bored, sitting around, do it. Leave a link below. So I'm looking at this influenza historic timeline. Influenza is the flu or whatever. you want to call it. Like the first pandemic was actually in 1918, and that was the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu spread worldwide during 1918 through 1919, so it lasted about a year. It estimated that about 500 million people, or 1/3 of the world's population, became infected with the virus. The number of deaths was estimated to be at least 50 million worldwide. 50 million. That's insane. That's a lot of people within 1 year. So what's coronavirus been around, like 2 months? Let's just call it 2 months roughly. And it's killed 12,000 people. Let's just say that doubled. Let's say it was at 24,000 in 2 months. So in 10 more months, 24,000 times 12 for, no, still not 50 million. Like, that's insane. There it is. That's the 1918 influenza pandemic, or AKA the Spanish flu, or the H1N1 virus. We have the 1957-1958 pandemic H2N2 virus. And this one is another influenza, another version of the flu, because it changes, it mutates. This one emerged in East Asia. It was the Asian flu. The estimated number of deaths was 1 million worldwide and 116,000 in the United States. So even 1.1 million. The 1957-1958 pandemic lasted about a year. H2N2 virus was still worse compared to Corona. This one may be closer to the stats of Corona if, per se, the Corona, we found a vaccine and it only, lasted a year like some of these others did. Let's go to the 1968 pandemic, H3N2 virus. It was caused by an influenza A H3N2 virus, compromise of 2 genes from an avian influenza A virus, including a new H3, blah, 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 blah. The estimated number of deaths was 1 million worldwide and about 100,000 in the United States. Very similar to the 1957 pandemic. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Let's go to the next one. So then we have the 2009 H1N1 pandemic. Within like a year, it kills like 12,000. That's kind of crazy. Corona's already killed, or COVID-19's already killed like 1,300 people. Then if you go down and look at, on this website I'm looking at, if you go down and look, CDC estimated that 151,700 through 575,400 people worldwide died from H1N1. I'm not sure how long this one went on for. I'm not really seeing it. I'm pretty sure H1N1 is the most recent. I could be wrong. That still killed more people than the Corona now. So now that you guys can see how Corona kind of stacks up against some other diseases or viruses, we can kind of go in and say, like, look, man, this isn't as bad. I feel like people are blowing it out of proportion. I'm not saying this isn't I'm not saying this is something not to take serious. I'm just saying, let's calm down a little bit. Let's simmer down. My advice is to stay off social media for a little while. Like, being on there is just going to cause you a lot of confusion. There's so many things floating around on social media. Everywhere I've gotten my information today is a credible source. Again, I'm going to leave the links down below. I want to move on to the last part of this video and read you guys some cool messages I get on the daily that I've been getting since this whole pandemic. It says, "The world is operating out of fear, which is causing a lot of chaos. We are experiencing a lot of difficulty and unknown facts about the future. We need to use good judgment. As Christians, we have an opportunity to live our lives by faith. One thing for sure is God loves us. He will never leave us and He will protect us. We have to do our part, which is pray, have wisdom, and hope that something positive is just out in front of us. Don't fall for the trap, but do the opposite and live by faith." Guys, I think those words are awesome encouragement if you're a part of that faith. If not, that's okay. No judgment. I'm just sharing what I believe. So this one says, "Have you read 91st Psalm lately? Here are a few lines from the passage. He shall rescue you from every trap and protect you from deadly diseases. His faithful promises are your armor and protection. Do not be afraid of the terrors of the night, nor the arrow that flies in the day. Do not dread the disease that stalks in darkness, nor the disaster that strikes at midday. Though 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 are dying around you, it shall not come near you. These evils will not touch you. No plague will come near your home. He shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways." How can you read those verses and get into fear? And I just love that, man. That's for me, that was like, yes, this is exactly how I've been feeling. I feel like people should just not react in fear. Like, let's stay sane, let's stay positive again, and let's focus on what we can control, and do some things you haven't done in a while, man. anyways, that's the end of this video, guys. Hopefully you like it. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Can't wait to see you guys next time. Make sure you guys stay safe, stay clean, stay stoked. Peace out.